ഇനി 8 മിനിറ്റ് കൂടെ ഉണ്ട്. മക്കളെ നീ വിളക്ക് കത്തിച്ചോ?
Oh.
We can start the session.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Gayatri, Research Scholar, Department of Commerce, Government Arts College. Thank you for joining us to the fifth week of the Saturday webinar series organized by Research Forum, PG and Research Department of Commerce, Gov- Government Arts College, Trivandrum. I welcome you all on behalf of our college to the webinar on the topic Roadmap to Questionnaire Design. I would now like to invite Dr. Satish Babu, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Government Arts College, to welcome our resource person.
Okay. Good evening to all. Respected Principal, Honorable Resource Person, dear colleagues, research scholars, and all the participants. On behalf of Government Arts College Trivandrum, I welcome today's resource person, Dr. M. Suganya, who is the Director of V Consultants, Hyderabad. She completed her PhD in Management from Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad, and has over 30 years of experience in teaching, training, and research for UG, PG, and PhD students. Earlier, she served as a Dean, Academics in Lachinotsav College of Commerce and Management, Miapur, Hyderabad. Currently, she is the director and co-founder of Messrs. V Consultants, Hyderabad. She is an approved guide for doctoral program of ICFI University, Krishna University, Jawaharlal Nehru Technical University, Annamalai University. We are grateful to her for accepting our invitation and become the resource person for today's event. I am sure this webinar will be beneficial and fruitful to all the participants. Once again, I welcome Dr. M. Suganya to this program. Madam, you are welcome to this program.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good evening, one and all. So, I think there are 150 participants so far. And YouTube connection also is given. Okay, now the main thing is here, very essence of the research is questionnaire. Why? Because the research scholars will get confused how to design a questionnaire. So today I'm going to show you how you have to design your questionnaire, how it is important. Okay, so let me go to the desktop.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Okay. Before moving on, just a little reminder. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box. We will have time for questions at the end. Also, a feedback link will be provided in the chat box. The link will be active for 20 minutes after the session. Now, without further ado, let's hand over the session to Dr. Suganya.
Yeah. Thank you. Hope this is a mixture of research scholars, professors, assistant professors, as well as students, I believe. This is my team, as I'm the director as well as the founder of V Consultants. This I have started online during COVID. So I'm running training programs successfully. And this is the team for me who are really supporting me and brought this V consultants. And Ebin also, I just came across attending my sessions, and like that, I was familiar. And in Kerala, also some other states also, they have invited me very recently. So not much delay. I'm just going to the topic. A roadmap to questionnaire design. So here, actually, when you will collect the data, what is the data collection? Why you have to prepare a questionnaire? That is $1 million question. Remember one thing.
It's really pleased to know about your contributions and your association with Eudoxia Research University. And I hope that you will be connected with us for future more innovation for research and into expansion in Ghana. So looking forward to be associated with you in future. Thank you. Welcome.
Okay. Shall I start?
Ma'am, please continue.
Yeah. Any other these things? No comments, no nothing. Shall I just move?
Please proceed, and we can have interactions during the Q&A session, and you can leave the interactions in the chat box. Your questions will be answered by our host, so we request you to not interrupt the session.
Okay. I want to close the screen, like my video. Video is off or on?
The video is off, ma'am.
Okay, fine. I'll be more comfortable if it is off. Yes?
No
You're
problem.
able to see the screen, no?
It is visible.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So here, when you should design a questionnaire, why this questionnaire comes? See, whenever we collect the primary data, for the primary data collection, primary data and secondary data. I hope everybody knows about these. No need to introduce or tell about what is primary data and secondary data. For primary data, data collection, you require a questionnaire. So it is very important. A questionnaire is a research instrument consisting of series of questions and other prompts for the purpose of gathering information from the respondents. Okay, most of the people have a doubt. What should be included in the questionnaire? Okay, before I go to the, I have divided into two parts. One thing is I'll tell about the questionnaire and the steps involved in the questionnaire and types of questionnaires. Okay, then I will show you one example how a research questionnaire has to be designed with the help of the objectives, hypothesis, and the variables. What is important to design a questionnaire? Okay. So it is so simple. You are going to collect the data, issuing a questionnaire. Most of the people know, they just gather the information, they prepare a questionnaire. But when we talk about, there are three types of, here when we talk, the questionnaires for different studies. First, we should see what type of study we are doing. Depending upon the study, we have to prepare what type of questionnaire. So the type of study, if it is large and quantitative studies, then it should be structured. And the method of administration is either telephone or face-to-face or self-completion. So here, large studies, quantitative studies, like surveys or anything, you want to collect the data, thousands into lakhs, then you have to use this very well-structured questionnaire. So what is structured questionnaire? We'll go into detail next. Business to business studies, investigate consumer studies, you can have semi-structured. So audio is not coming, somebody said. Is it audible or not?
It's audible, ma'am.
Audible, ma'am.
In comment, they're saying video, your audio is not. Okay, whatever it is. Please take care of those things, no? Comments. Semi-structured means here you want to know it includes open-end questions as well as close-end questions. You can telephone it or face-to-face. When your studies are business to business, B2B, or investigate consumer studies. Okay. And here, next is qualitative studies. Any qualitative studies, you can have unstructured. Why it is qualitative study means behavioral studies. Qualitative means what? Behavioral. There is qualitative research and quantitative research. Any qualitative is can be measurable. You can't just have a closed-ended like poor, very good, good, poor, good, or very good, or excellent. You can. So in this 4, you want to give something else also. You cannot give because the behavior. Here you have to give exact behavior because the qualitative studies are based on the behaviors. You can't measure with a closed-ended. Sometimes you want to give an open-ended. Means let them give the comments on that and you want to read the comments. But in small studies only it is possible. Suppose if there are only 60 people, only small group, it is possible. Like depth interviews, in-depth interview, first time interview, second time interview, third time, like that. Face to face, then you can conduct a focus group and you can collect the data. Like observational studies you can. So suppose there are 60 students, small children are there. You can't give a questionnaire to small children. No, what they will do? They just tear it and put it in the dustbin. But how to do a study for the small children? A qualitative study, unstructured. You have to go sit with them, observe them, or you interact with them. Then you conduct some group study. Then you will come to conclusion. Oh, these are the outcomes of the particular group. So this is how the questionnaire, first you are designing, first see what is your study. Is it a large, quantitative, or your study is B2B or investigation, consumer studies, or qualitative studies like only a small group you are interviewing or one quota. In sampling, you have probability sampling and non-probability sampling. Non-probability sampling is convenience sampling, quota sampling, judgmental sampling, snowball sampling. Here, you can use this qualitative studies. Why? Because you can just focus only on small group and you can collect the data. Most of the students, students projects, now degree students and PG students, you can do this qualitative studies. Don't go in struggling with the big questionnaire and you don't try to give that questionnaire. Some people, they come with a questionnaire without knowing the topic. So I think this is clear for you, the questionnaire for the different studies. Now we'll look into what is structured. They are defined as concrete and predetermined questions. These questions are already determined by somebody. The scale is already prepared by, already done by the economists, and they will just give a questionnaire like we have marketing scales book. In that book, the questionnaire is already designed. You have to use the same words. So the questions are presented with exactly the same wording and in the same order to all the respondents. You have no right to change because it is predetermined question. It is well structured. Next is a resort is taken to this sort of standardization to ensure that all respondents reply to the same set of questions. So you cannot have any choice of writing on your own. No, I'm not happy with this closed-ended, this structure. I have another idea. I want to give another idea. These 4 choices not enough. 5th one is there in my mind. No, you cannot give because it is structured. You have to answer the questions which are given. That's all. Next, the structured questionnaires have fixed alternative questions in which responses of the informants are limited to the stated alternatives. Just now I told you, you cannot go beyond critical thinking, or you have any idea, you cannot give, you cannot write. And this is a structured. This structured questionnaire, why it is structured in such a way? Because they want only the information what they want. They don't want any other information. What it is behavioral studies, because it is a quantitative study, so that's why they are not bothered about your feelings. They are not bothered about your face expressions. They are not bothered about how you are thinking about. So only they want the quantity, yes or no, or you want agree, disagree, not agree, like that. It is closed. not open-ended. It is closed-ended. You have only choice of 5. You should give any one of that. You cannot give all. So the structured questionnaire has the limitation and it is predetermined. Then next is the semi-structured questionnaires. These semi-structured questionnaires comprise a mixture of closed-ended and open-ended question. 50% of that, 50% of this. They are commonly used in research where there is a need to accommodate a large range of different responses from companies. So they are commonly used, and you can have open-ended, you can also have the closed-ended, 50-50 or 25-75. It is up to the what type of objectives they have framed. Then the use of semi-structured questionnaires enables a mix of qualitative and quantitative information. Qualitative means behavioral. So for this qualitative, they can have a semi-structured, that is open-ended. For quantitative, closed-ended. Because rating will be given. Quantitative, you have a rating scale, 5 to 10, or you can have 0 to 5, or 0 to 1, 0 to 10, or something like that. You have 1 to 10, 1 to 5 also you can give. You should not use 0 there. 1 to 5 scale, 1 to 7, 1 to 9 scale. Likert scale you can use, Likert scale. So here you'll be using for quantitative data, but for qualitative you can have open-end questions. How do you feel about the ambience of our, suppose example, if it is a shopper stop. A shopper stop wants to know how the consumer is feeling about the ambience of the shopper stop. So you can give an open-end questions. Don't give good, not good, excellent. Don't give. Closed-ended is that. Open-ended. Give opportunity to the customer. Then only you can understand. Then they can be administered over the telephone or face-to-face. Now, when we talk about most of the colleges, they give a feedback form depending on how the lecturer is teaching. So, feedback form will be designed as closed-ended. There is no open-ended. Many times when I worked in previous institutions, I reminded, sir, don't give open-ended, closed-ended. Please give open-ended, at least semi-structured. That is 4 questions you give open-ended. Leave your comments on canteen. Leave your comments on classrooms. Give your comments on playground. Please give those 4 at least open-end so that they will give some comments on that. So I made it and I prepared a questionnaire, and when we have distributed, then we came to know the canteen was horrible and the food was very horrible. So through that questionnaire, we came to know the semi-structured questionnaire helped us about the canteen people, how they are cooking. Otherwise, we could not notice that. We were thinking such a big college, 7,000 students, the canteen is very big, spacious, AC, everything, but the food is not as to the power of, as far as how much they are paying for that. So, or sometimes you should also have a semi-structured questionnaires. They can be administered over the telephone or face-to-face. But most of the thing, if you do a telephone, many people, they'll not have a resistance to response. Face-to-face, if you want to interact, they'll not give some time. So it is very difficult. Who are the respondents you have to see. And when you are preparing a questionnaire and gathering the questionnaire, the data, at that time you should have patience. Don't be in a hurry. In 1 month I should collect 1,000 data. No, every day only 2. When I've done my PhD at that time, every day only 2 questionnaires I used to circulate and get the information. Like that, I have spent 8 months to complete my data collection. For everything, you should have some time management is there. Okay. Next is unstructured questionnaires. Now, unstructured questionnaires are made up of questions that elicit free responses. You are very free. It is open-ended. These are guided conversations rather than structured interviews and would often be referred as a topic guide. Then the topic guide is made up of a list of questions with an apparent order, but it is not so rigid that the interviewer has slavishly follow it in every detail. So here, we can have open-ended, but as I told you, no, you cannot use this unstructured questionnaire for a large crowd. How you are going to put it and see? It's very difficult, no? Only small crowd, 60 or 30 or whatever it is, then you can have it. But for the large crowd, it is very difficult. Any confidential studies you want to know, any observations if you want to know, then unstructured questionnaire is very, very helpful. Why? Because everything, whatever they have in their mind, it will come out of it. Interviews. If you interview a student on some set of questions, no, when you are asking, they'll give information. Is it a same information given by the all the students or different? You have to see. And what is the rating? How many people said about the favorability or unfavorability of particular topic? So here, unstructured questionnaires, when to use, structured questionnaires, when to use, semi-structured questionnaires, when to use. Hope you understood these three types where to use. Now we'll see the essential steps to develop a questionnaire. Now, first and foremost thing is you have a research process. For that research process, first you identify the problem. What is the problem? Okay, you have identified well. Then you do a literature review on that. Yes. Then bring the gaps. Yes, you brought. Then you frame the research questions. Yes, you have framed. Then you frame the objectives. Yes, you have done. Then objectives for not necessarily for every objective you should have a hypothesis, but for in an objective you should have a variable. Variables are very, very important. Most of the students know, most of the researchers, they don't know what is a variable and what to study also they don't know. Please identify variables. What are independent, dependent, moderate variable, mediating variable? Identify. How you will identify? With the help of conceptual framework. When you have a conceptual framework for any problem, you have to have a flow chart. With the help of flow chart, you will identify. Then what you will do is you can design, incorporate, or you can have a hypothesis on the variables. Then incorporate all these things in the questionnaire. There is a link. See the link, how it is. Identify the problem, do a review of literature, identify gaps. Gaps turn into research questions into objectives. Objectives should have variables, and these variables to be studied, you have to frame the hypothesis. And these things you should incorporate in the questionnaire. So decide the information required. That is the first step. This is the information. Then define the target respondents. Most of the people know, they'll give the questionnaire like pamphlets. You are not performing any somebody's function, or it is not a wedding card, it is not any card you are circulating, or your advertisement, your advertising. It's a questionnaire. Whom you have to give? Who are your respondents? You have to decide. Most of the people, they don't know their respondents. A study on women work-life balance, they'll give it to even for men. Arey, why you are giving to men? Only women, it is very clearly mentioned, no? You have, who are your target? Work-life balance of women conductors. To whom you have to give? Only to women conductors. Then scope of study, only Hyderabad, Secunderabad women conductors, or only the 10 depots which are there in Hyderabad and Secunderabad. There are 42 depots. So in 42 depots, I cannot go all 42. So I can collect the data only on 10 depots. Very clear. That is, define your target audience or respondents. Next is choose a method of reaching your target respondents. Which method? You have to take some time, go to the depot, sit with the lady conductor and ask the, whether it is a structured or semi-structured. You take her time, in her free time, then spend 5 or 10 minutes to each of the conductor and you have to take the information. See, I'll tell you, when you have observe face to face, no, not only in the questionnaire, but you will get other information also. You can also jot down. This will help in your secondary data studies also, or you can give, it comes in the conclusion also, analysis part also you can give, saying that by conducting interviews, I have analyzed the work-life balance of women conductors are these points, whichever I have not included in my questionnaire, but my observational studies are this. It will add some flavor to your research. Okay. Next is decide on question content. Most of the people know they just form a question and the question doesn't have any meaning. I'm sorry to say. It's so difficult to understand. Reading question only, it will take some time. Not easy, not clear. The wordings are different. They use very high language, sophisticated. Please don't use that. The content of the question, clear, it should be clear and it should be very fair and it should not be biased or it should be double-barreled meaning. It should not include. Next is develop the question wording. Clear. It should be very easy English, simple English. So that you have to develop the wording. It should be very clear. Put questions into a meaningful order and format. Most of the people, they don't know. First, you should have the demographic questions. That is, you have to find out who are your respondent. Name of the respondent. If they are not willing to give, then you can go gender. Then you can say age. Then you can say qualification, then occupation, then you can say married or unmarried, marital status, then you can say joint family or a nuclear family, then you can say own house or own vehicle or travel by bus, because some demographic variables you require on certain studies where these are also dependent on that. So here it is very, very important. Meaningful, and it should be in order. And suppose if you are not putting in order, are you married? If yes, how many children you have? If you have how many children you have first, then you said, are you married? Because some people know they don't worry about what should come first, what should come next. You should not use these things. Okay, check the length of the questionnaire. For your God's sake, don't just you love to give the questionnaire, you will be adding. See, you are not doing any Ramayanam or Mahabharatam. It's a questionnaire. It should be cut and it should be so short and sweet, and by just the looks, it should be really feel like, oh, it's so simple, and you should be able to tick it. Within 2 minutes, you should finish off the questionnaire. So for that, what should be there? Your objectives, your variables, each variable, you have to put it there and you have to find out, you have to design a questionnaire. To my knowledge, if it is a small project or mini project for the student project, 15 to 20 questions, more than enough. If you have one objective, have one variable, or you are studying one variable, dependent variable, 5 questions under one. If you are having 2 variables, another 5 questions, not more than 10 questions on the variables. And demographic data, of course, it will be there. If it is a mini project or a student project. If it is a the questionnaire for the research scholars, PhD students, in our days, we have gone up to 60, but now they are saying 45 is enough. But I cannot say 45 or 60, depending upon number of objectives. One of my research scholar, I have completed, like under my guidance, 3 students have completed. One is from Krishna University, from JNTU, as well as from ICFA University. All are ladies, they have done it. And in ICFA University, she has taken 21 hypotheses. I said, what is this 21 hypotheses? From where you are going to analyze and write? We made it to 7 hypotheses. We made it to 5 objectives. And the questionnaire has gone to 120 questions. and we made it to 45 questions. So, and don't be so rigid. My guide said, then this is, if you know, if you have knowledge, please incorporate. Please incorporate. Okay, after checking that, pre-test the questionnaire. This is very, very important. You call it as pilot study. Have you done any pilot study? In your research design, you have to show, sir, this is my pilot study. I have been to the respondents, 50 respondents have given this, and I am very glad that the questionnaire what I have designed, I have done a pilot study, then my reliability and validity test I have done, and it has come very, very nicely. And it is more than 0.75. And I'm very glad on this basis, I just went forward and developed the final survey form. So what is important after designing the questionnaire? For designing questionnaire, what you have to incorporate in that? The objectives, what you have taken, and the variables, what you are studying. Those things only should be incorporated in questionnaire. And when you're doing analysis part, no, don't take all questions under the analysis part with pie chart and bar chart and histogram. Why? Because why? Because here it is very difficult to make such a big book and saying that, oh, my PhD is of 500 pages or 400 pages or something like that. Those days have gone. Those days have gone. Now the research should be very lucid form. So before somebody asks you, what about your questionnaire? How did you design your questionnaire? From which, is it a self-designed or you have taken a Likert scale? Then you have to say, is it a structured, unstructured, or semi-structured? If it is unstructured, you have to do a pilot study, then prove it, the reliability test and validity test. You have to show. Then only you can develop the final survey form. Okay. So this is about the essential steps to develop a questionnaire. Now I'll just move on to the another one with the example. Abin, is it clear?
Clear, ma'am. Clear.
Yeah. Now I'm going to the activity part. Now, how the questions to be when you prepare a question? Questions must be clear, as I told you already. Question should be relevant and respondent should competent to answer. A questionnaire should include short items and avoid double barrel questions. What is double barrel questions means? Suppose you ask your students, students, do you want special classes for history as well as for mathematics? You are asking history as well as mathematics. They don't want for history, but they want for mathematics. How do they answer? They cannot answer, no, because it is double barrel. So you have to ask students, do you want special classes for history? One. Again, you should ask, okay, I'll zoom it. It is not zoomed. This is only like this only. I cannot zoom it. This is not a PPT. It's only a PDF, no? So that's why I cannot zoom it.
It's visible.
It's somebody was saying, please zoom it. I cannot do that. It's only a written matter. So double barrel means two things you are asking in one question. For history, they don't require special classes, but for mathematics, they want. How do they answer? So you should have two questions separately. Don't club it, double barrel. Avoid negative questions, negative items like, are you facing any problem in the college? Don't ask with the facing problem. That means earlier some students have faced some problem. Don't ask these negative questions. Do you agree with this? Do you not agree with this? Do you disagree with this? Never give any negative questions. Okay. Next is question should avoid bias. Bias means whether you say yes or no, don't know, you will be favorable. Some questions are, you will be in a confusion, vague, bias. So it is very difficult. Do not use specialized language, as I told you, because very difficult to understand. Bias questions, no, I asked here in a biscuit one a questionnaire I have prepared on the purchase decision of a biscuit. Brand and variety I asked, double barreled. Then in variety I asked flavor and design. So flavor is different, design is different. People got confused. So my factor analysis was showing very less for that because I have identified, oh, this is a biased question, this is double barreled question. So that's why I should remove this question. In results, you'll come to know very nicely. You'll get to the, oh, this is gone. The reliability has gone down on that particular question, on that particular variable. And a request to the respondent is must when it is online. Most of the people questionnaire, please fill up this questionnaire as I'm doing my PhD. No, please request them. First, you introduce yourself and request them. And this is what I request you. Please kindly spare some 5 minutes time to fill. And thank you so much in advance for accepting my questionnaire and answering my questionnaire. Something like that. You have to request. Nowadays, if without request, most of the people, they don't want to request, but you have to. That request thing has gone very far nowadays. Nobody is requesting. Everybody became boss. They think, okay. Now I have taken one example. This is by introducing the online banking services in 2018 made most of the people difficult in usage and risk facing by them. So when the online, like Narendra Modi, Dr. Narendra Modi, our prime minister, he said he has banned all those services. Sorry, new notes have been, currency notes have been introduced 2000 and the old have been vanished. And he made every village, in every village, all the people should have bank accounts, because if you have online banking or banking services, then they'll come to know they have their own calculations. At that time, then we have done a study. One of my research scholar has done this studies, how the online banking services. Even me at that time in 2018, I found it very difficult downloading apps and following these apps. And people are saying, oh, Mo, you transfer more than 10,000, no, your money is gone somewhere, hacking and all. So even I was so scared. What risk will be there? What are the barriers for me? Even for educated people also they have done. So what we have taken, this survey we have conducted for people who are having jobs, job holders. Purposely we have done, we didn't go to any village. Job holders who are having salaried people. Job holders means salaried people. One set is salaried people. So for this study, we have been to Vijayawada, Vizag, and studies have done in Hyderabad as well as Secunderabad. 4 cities. We have taken Telangana as well as Andhra together, and we would like to know how people were happy with this online banking. Then I have framed these research questions. Does the online banking is difficult in usage and barriers? Does the online banking has physical risk and other types of risks? And what are the rejection factors of usage? Find out the respondents, postponement, rejection, and opposition. See, one thing you remember, whenever you're doing a research study, you should have 3 things. But first is input. What is the input? And what you are doing, the procedure. Then you should have output. Input, procedure, output. So here you should also have independent, dependent, and outcome. If you look at, I have taken objectives of the study like this. To study the socio-demographic factors for rejection of mobile banking, to study the related perceived risk and innovation resisted by the customer. And also I have studied the various risks and barriers. These are all my studies. Now, how these things should be incorporated, how to make into my hypothesis. Before I show to the hypothesis, I would like to show the conceptual framework. This will help you independent, dependent, and moderating, mediating variables and the outcome. See, conceptual framework for perceived risk and innovation resistance. All risks, I have taken this: physical risk, economic risk, functional risk, social risk. Now, these are the variables which are independent. And how you are perceiving this perceived risk is dependent, how the customer is perceiving. And this perceived risk is included with some barriers, psychological barriers, functional barriers, because your perceived risk is depending on these two barriers. If these two barriers, either you have a psychological barrier or you have a functional barrier. Functional barrier in the sense you are not able to function it, you are not able to transfer it. Now they'll ask OTP, you have to insert the OTP, how to come out of that and put a OTP. Then you say press button. These are the functional barriers. Psychological means, oh, I don't know whether my money will be reached safely or not. Psychological, you have a feeling. That is the perceived risk. How you are going to perceive your risk regarding physical, economical, functional, or social. Then, so when you have these two barriers, how the customer resistance to the innovation, then this is the outcome. Resistance hierarchy. They'll postpone. Naturally, when we don't do the homework, what we will do, we'll not go to the school. So we'll postpone. When we don't like it, we'll keep postpone. No, tomorrow, no, day after tomorrow, I'm so busy, I cannot do it. Why? Because you are resistant. Some people, they outrightly reject. No, I cannot do this work. Then some people, after rejecting, not only rejection, they oppose it. What you are doing? What is this? This we don't like it. I'm opposing for this. So the customers who have these type of risk have perceived in which way are resisted to either postponement or rejection or opposition. This is the outcome. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it audible?
Yes, it's audible.
So something has come for me. You are able to see, renew your recommend.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it's very audible, madam. Can continue. It's very clear.
Okay. This is what the conceptual framework. Okay. Conceptual framework is very, very important. Otherwise, it is very difficult to. Now you look at this questionnaire. Very simple questionnaire. I've made it. I just, I should not use this, but anyhow, I should skip because this is somebody's, I should not. Okay. Now look at the questionnaire here when we talk about the questionnaire. Demographic profile. Gender, age, education. Which of the following describes your current status, married or unmarried, monthly income, occupation? Do you have internet connection on mobile phone? Yes or no? Since how long you are using internet banking? Okay. They're all demographic. Everyone knows. Now look at this questionnaire. Please read this before filling up the questionnaire and tick in the appropriate box. And here, deem fit for the following. Mention the perception statements for all the attributes. And for rating here, strongly agree 5, agree 4, neutral 3, disagree 2, strongly disagree 1. I made if you look at this, the first one, independent variable is perceived risk, physical risk and usage barrier. Second is value barrier and economic risk. Third is risk barrier and social risk. Here, I made some questions, the format. This is a structured questionnaire and somebody has already done it. I'm supposed to use the same words as it is a structured questionnaire. Network of mobile banking services is not reachable all the time. Say yes or no, or do you agree, strongly agree? You have to put any one. I think you know it all this. So this is how what you have to see is your own objectives, dependent, independent variables should be incorporated in your questionnaire. See how it has come. And last, no, you have financial cost barrier. All five you have, no? Then last one is the rejection factors for usage of internet banking. What are the rejected factors? Because perception rating also is done on rejection factors. Then you have to have this, which is meaningful. What are your objectives? You are incorporating same. What are your variables? Same incorporation. Now, when you do this 5 questions, 4 questions in factor analysis, then what will happen? You will come to the analysis part. You have to conduct a Cronbach alpha. Then you have to see how much it is and what is the reliability, what is the validity, or that also you have to see. Then each variable you should have reliability and validity. Then only you can able to see. Sometimes no financial cost barrier, financial risk, validity is low, reliability is low. Please remove that particular variable or don't show for the final analysis. You can mention that since I have taken this financial cost, physical, everything, but this has given a very low reliability. Hence, I'm removing this particular independent variable from the study and I'm concluding with only four variables and its reliability and the validity. So that is very, very important. So questionnaire design is not so easy. And we have tested this, what we have done, in 2018, in our college, we were around 3,000 faculty, not faculty exactly, teaching, non-teaching, ours is not 3,000, I'm sorry, 1,500 faculty, as well as because it is an engineering college and having so many sections, teaching and non-teaching. We have given to around 100 people and tested how they have perceived this type of risk. And then mostly, even though they are educated, even though they are having ease of use of mobile banking, but they are hesitating. They want to see how their neighbors are doing. Are they successful? After some time, that means postponement has come more. People have postponed because they don't want to lose their money. People will hack and all. So after some people were using, looking at sitting at home, you can pay current bill. Sitting at home, you are paying what bill? No need to go to e-seva, mobile, internet, then current bill, water bill, then gas connection. So easy, no? Then all these job holders realized, hey, no need to go to e-seva. Otherwise, we have to apply one day leave, go all, pay all these bills earlier. Is it not? And now this has become so easy. Booking gas, easy. Paying current bill, easy. So then they started, no postponement, no rejection, no opposition, all are favorable. After this study, we have again conducted in 2019. We have got very good response. People are so happy to use mobile banking. If you really take this questionnaire and conduct, no, you will get 100% result. We are so convenient with the mobile banking. Okay. So this is about the how you have to prepare the questionnaire. I hope I have covered the topic. Because you have a 10 or 15 minutes time will be given for question answers. So as madam has announced, you have 12 minutes to.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am, for the enlightening session. We will go ahead and take some time for questions now. I
Yeah.
welcome Aishwarya Sajeev, Research Scholar, Department of Commerce, Government Arts College, to handle the question answer session. Just a reminder, please post your questions in the chat box. Also, make sure that your mic is turned off.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you. Ma'am, there's a question from Deepshika. How can hypothesis be formulated from the objective?
How means you have to see what are the variables are incorporated in the objectives. So earlier I just, if you want, I can show the hypothesis how I have framed. No, only thing is whether you have to have hypothesis with the connection of relationship. Hypothesis should have the variable relationship. Variable means independent variable, dependent variable. Then only you can frame the hypothesis. Without variables, you cannot frame the hypothesis. Most of the people, they think that hypothesis means only statement. No, it's a doubt you have whether is it a null hypothesis or alternative hypothesis. That means mobile banking has a physical risk or doesn't have any physical risk. Is it a barrier or not having a barrier? So you have to prove it with the test. So every hypothesis should have contain the relationship between dependent variable and independent variable. Like that, you have to frame a hypothesis. Okay? Hope.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm.
Okay, ma'am. There's a question from Sanuja. Is it advisable to give others as an option in the multiple choice questions?
That means advisable to give a multiple.
Ma'am, is it advisable to give others as an option in multiple choice question?
No, no, no. Others, if you give no, again, it is a problem. Why? Because it is neither a semi-structured nor a structured. When in a structured questionnaire, never give others because others will not study. We cannot study when we put in your SPSS because you should give a rating. See, if you put others, no, others is a semi-structured. You are giving options. Suppose example, you are buying biscuit. You give 5 biscuits, 5 names, and you give others. Others, if they put also, you cannot judge it. What is that other? You cannot test it. It always looks like others only. So how many people are not buying these 5, buying others? Then you will come to conclusion. People are buying others. Then what conclusion you will be giving? Yes or no? Most of the people, they use others also, but you cannot justify the analysis for the others. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. There's a question from Punita. Should objectives of the study should correlate to research question?
Yes, obviously. Otherwise, why? What is the use of research questions? Research questions, because you have found out these research questions from the gaps. What gaps you have identified in the review of literature, those only you have taken as research questions because you are going to study these questions. These should be turned into objectives.
Okay, ma'am. Okay,
Yeah.
ma'am. There's a question from Simran. Can we remove any variable from structured questionnaire?
See, you can, if it is a structured questionnaire, suppose you're studying only, there are, suppose in a structured questionnaire, you have a marketing scales or you have a scaled questionnaire, I should say scaled questionnaire. In the scaled questionnaire, there are 8 variables, but you are studying only 4 variables. Yes, you take only which is related to your 4 variables, you can take only those questions into consideration and you can do the study. Don't incorporate all the questions into that. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Let's end the question. What is a marker variable?
Marker.
Yes, ma'am. Marker variable.
Marker variable. No, I have not come across any marker. We have moderate variable, mediate variable, and there is no alternative for that. Moderating, mediating, dependent, independent, you have these.
Okay, ma'am.
So, ma'am, am I audible?
Excuse me, kindly post the question in the
Yes.
chat box.
I asked this question regarding this marker variable. So,
Okay, okay.
actually came across this term when I was studying common method biasness. So in order to avoid that biasness, we use this term marker variable. However, I'm not very sure as to how we can incorporate the same into a questionnaire. So that is why I posted this question.
Probably marker variable means without studying, suppose by studying this extraneous variable, you can use this called as extraneous variable. Extraneous variable means suppose you are going to one place, you have to come across like extraneous means before you go to the study, no, you have to study one, then only you will get the information about the other. That is what you call it as extraneous variable. I have not come across marker variable. Is it in a scientific? Because it is a social science, I have not come across.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am, let's answer the question. Can we build the questionnaire by having questions from different pieces and combine them in our questionnaire?
Most of the people, they'll be doing it. Nowadays, what happened? See, I'm telling you, you can use those questions, you can join those. Only thing is, you see that whether there is a reliability test and validity test, you do it. Whether it is a reliable or not reliable, because one thing is, if you incorporate the questions, no, respondent should able to answer those questions and understand the questions and answer. There should be consensus. If they don't have any consensus, no, they'll be in bias and they'll not give the proper answer. So you can do it related to your objective only. You have to do it. Yes,
Okay,
next.
ma'am. Okay, ma'am. In mixed method,
Mm.
one second, ma'am. In mixed method research, how many and which type tools we can use?
Mixed. What is that mixed?
Mixed method research, how
Mm.
many and which type tools we can use?
Mixed in the sense intra or intra area. You mean to say?
No, ma'am,
That is
that's not
what.
specified.
That's what. You can have a inter and intra research. You can have two subjects. You can have on two subjects, but mixed means not qualitative and quantitative. She means mixed in the sense qualitative and quantitative. It seems. See, qualitative and quantitative. For qualitative, you can have open-ended questions, and for quantitative, you can have closed-end questions. But see that who are the gathering, who are the people, who are your respondents, and how much is the respondent strength. If it is 200, doesn't matter. More than 200, again, it's a problem. You can have a mixture of this, but how much it depends upon what you're asking, what type of content of your question, strongness, strength. Null hypothesis means there is no significant difference between having and not having. That means, suppose after, I'll give you one example. I think I'm reading from here and answering. Is it okay?
It's okay, ma'am. From next question onwards, I will read out.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
It's okay, ma'am.
I'm able to see here and I'm doing it here.
Okay, ma'am.
Because somebody said, please ask my question. Somebody has put, that's why
Yeah,
I
I've already. No, I've just asked that question.
uh,
Okay, ma'am. Just another question. Are there any specific points to be carefully considered in case of questionnaire framing for interdisciplinary research?
Okay, interdisciplinary research, we should be very careful. Why? Because since it is interdisciplinary, no, you have to have wordings are very, very important. What you have to use, and because when it is interdisciplinary, first is who are your respondents? Are they having knowledge or not? Most of the people know they use very hi-fi language at the time when they are framing the questions in interdisciplinary. But you should see who are your respondents. Based on the respondents' knowledge, education, then you have to frame the question. That is very, very important.
Okay, ma'am. There's another question. Doing research in education sector, what type of questionnaire can choose?
During education sector means what questionnaire means? I didn't get you.
And the question says, doing research in education sector, what type of questionnaire can choose?
See, that's what, ma. See, depend upon your topic. What education sector, which topic? I cannot give education like that, no. We have our very research scholar, very recently she has done the attitude of millennials. Millennials means who was born in 80s. The attitude of millennials in entrepreneurship. So education we have taken. So like that, you should have a specific topic. In that topic, what type of questionnaire? Again, you are asking the same. Say topic is important, object is important, hypothesis is important. Those to be incorporated in the questionnaire.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, due to time limit, we are cutting short the Q&A session. Remaining queries can be forwarded to the mail ID, which will be posted in the chat box. Over to you, Gayatri.
Thank you, Aishwarya. Thank you, everyone, for your active participation. Now, I would like to call upon
Madam,
Ebin P.
one more
Jose.
doubt. Hello.
Kindly
Hello.
post your questions. Kindly post your questions in the mail ID posted.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Okay.
Now, I'd like to call upon Ebin P. Jose, research scholar, Department of Commerce, Government Arts College, to convey the vote of thanks.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Good evening, everyone. It is an honor to be part of this wonderful event. I take this opportunity to extend my thanks to God Almighty, who blessed us to make this program a success. On behalf of Government Arts College, Trivandrum, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to our principal, Dr. Sheila KL, who has been the motivation behind this grand webinar series. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Dr. M. Suganya ma'am, Director, V Consultants, Hyderabad. She explained questionnaire design in a lucid and simple language comprehensive to all sorts of people. She gave a clear idea on how to design a questionnaire and proper tools to construct one with examples within the limited time. Thank you, ma'am, for sparing your valuable time for us.
Okay, thank you so much.
This session has been helpful and inspiring to all the participants. I would like to bestow my gratitude to Dr. Sadish Babu, who extended warm welcome to the program. Thank you, sir. I express my sincere thanks to all the faculties and research supervisors within and outside the college. Thank you all. Let me express my gratitude to the participants, those who joined from various places through WebEx and YouTube. A wide round of applause and thanks to all the participants who made the event a memorable one. Finally, I offer my thanks to all the research scholars who are the main backbone of the program. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Ebin. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. Thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you next Saturday. Our next session will be on April 30th on the topic Behavior Finance and the Psychology of Investing. The session will be handled by Dr. Rajini B. Bhatt. Please find the feedback link posted in the chat box. The link will be active for 20 minutes. Once again, thank you.
Yeah, I think shall I leave?
Yes, ma'am, you can leave now.
Yeah, one small thing for YouTube, how many participants are there?
There were more than 100 participants, ma'am.
Into YouTube. Okay,
Yes.
I have a doubt that this YouTube again will be using this recorded one.
Yes, it will be available in the forum YouTube channel.
Okay, YouTube channel. Okay, you have to have a link for that if you want to know.
Yes, it will be shared, ma'am. All the details will be conveyed to you.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Shall I leave?
You can leave, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.